Okay, folks, this is losing 100 pounds of fat in 100 days. Sounds very impressive, and it is. What's even more impressive, or what will shock some people, especially if you're low carb or former low carb, is this guy did it by eating nothing but potatoes. Sure, if you're one of those insulin is the fat storage hormone people, you're in for a surprise. You don't need insulin to store fat. There are many mechanisms inside the human body that will store fat that have nothing to do with insulin. There are insulin independent ways for your body to store fat into fat cells. So you can also have insulin spikes and lose a lot of body fat. I do it. How is this possible if I do it? Eating loads of carbohydrate, the vast majority of my calories. What about the 2015 study pitting low carb and low fat head to head, exact same calories? The low carb people had more carbs, more insulin, and lost almost double the fat of the low carb group with more insulin. Anyway, let's get through it. This is Penn Jillette. Remember Penn and Teller? The magician guy? This is him. He lost about 100 pounds in 100 days. And, well, let's hear his story. It's very inspirational.
I lost over 100 pounds, a third of my weight. I was probably at my heaviest. You don't ever weigh yourself at your heaviest, but I was probably over 340, certainly around there. And now as I sit here in front of you, I'm probably about 232. There's a fluctuation of a couple pounds. It goes back and forth. It's a lot of weight. I did not lose it for vanity. I was pretty happy with myself fat. I didn't mind being fat. It wasn't a big deal to me. I didn't mind how I looked. But my health was getting bad. I didn't even mind how I felt very much. I didn't mind, not being energetic and stuff, but I started having blood pressure that was stupid high, like, English voltage, like 220, even on blood pressure medicine. And I have two young children. I'm an old dad. My daughter was born when I was 50. So I'm 61 now. And my life expectancy, the actuary tables were crashing down. And the doctor said that I had to get a stomach sleeve. It was a wonderful moment because it then gave me the option to go crazy. If you're going to surgically do something to me to stop me from swallowing, that means I don't have to worry about doing a sane diet. I can get nutty. And being given the option to be nutty was all I needed. I realized that not only am I not good at moderation, I also don't respect moderation. Anyone I know who is able to do moderation, I don't like them. The people I respect and love are people that go wild. I mean, I don't want to go into Kerouac here, but the mad ones. No one brags about climbing a nice little slope. You brag about climbing Everest. So once my friend Ray Cronice, who I call Cray Ray, once Cray Ray told me that I could lose the weight, but it was going to be really hard, it got really easy. Once you make something a challenge, make something I can brag about, I can do it. So I wrote this book about me. It is more first-person singular in it than a Donald Trump speech. I don't write about you. If you take medical advice from a Las Vegas magician, you are an idiot who deserves to die. You have to do this for yourself and with your proper medical professionals. That being said, the first thing Cray Ray and I wanted to do was change my way of eating. It turns out everything about eating is habit. It's all habitual. You think you have a natural inclination to like grilled cheese or donuts. Not true. All we eat is habit. So I wanted to take a couple weeks and change my habit. And one of the really good ways to do that worked tremendously for me, is what's called the mono diet, which is just what you'd think from the root, eating the exact same thing. And I could have chosen anything. I could have chosen corn or beans or whatever. Not hot fudge, but anything. And I chose potatoes because it's a funny thing and a funny word. So for 2 weeks, I ate potatoes. Complete potatoes, skin and everything, and nothing added, nothing subtracted. When I say nothing subtracted, I mean no skin taken off, but also no water. You can't cut it up and make it chips in a microwave. Don't take water out of it. Leave the potato complete. So that means baked or boiled, and not at any meal time. You don't get up in the morning and eat a potato. You don't eat it at lunch or dinner. Meal times are obliterated. When you really need to eat, you eat a potato. And over that first 2 weeks, I lost, I believe, 14 pounds. So already I'm a different person. But I also reset my taste buds. I don't like to use the word addiction. It's a loaded word, and also I don't think anyone really knows what it means. But I was habituated to a great deal of salt, sugar, and oil. After 2 weeks of potatoes, that was gone. And the first ear of corn I had was candy. I mean, it was just amazing. It was so sweet and so full of flavors and so salty even. And I grew up in New England where there's wonderful fresh corn in the summer, but I'd always drenched it in butter and salt. I never tasted it. Oh, then after that 2 weeks, I went to, a bean stew and tomatoes and salads, but still no fruit and no nuts, certainly no animal products. And I lost an average, these words are careful, an average of 0.9 pounds a day. So I took off pretty much all the weight in 3 or 4 months, in a season, in a winter. Because we have so many calories, our bodies are constantly in summer. We're preparing for winter that never comes. Winter came for me, and that was 17 months ago. So I've kept the weight off for 17 months. Now, 2 years is magic. Very few people keep it off for 2 years. I got 7 more months to go. I think I have a shot at it. I feel better. I'm happier. I'm off most of my blood pressure meds, not all of them. It takes a while for the vascular system to catch up with the weight loss.
How many people switch to a high carb diet and feel better? Like what he just said, feel happier. I did. If you go from low carb especially to high carb, low fat, I don't know of a single person who's made that transition and didn't feel better, didn't feel happier, didn't feel more energetic, and just was like, my God, all this variety of food that I can eat. Whereas before, the diet sucks. Be honest, it sucks. The food sucks. You don't look forward to any of your meals. There's very little variety, and it's expensive. Everybody feels better making that switch, physically and mentally.
I have more fun. I believe I'm kinder. I'm embarrassed about that because I'm an atheist, as I've covered to this very camera before. So I should not believe in a mind-body separation. But somehow I believed that my mind could stay healthy and happy even if my body was falling apart. And I shouldn't have ever believed that, but I did. And now that I'm lighter, I feel lighter and I feel happier. And, there's a chance, my chances of living longer for my children have gone up considerably. I lost my mom and dad when I was 45. And a year of my life was in deep, deep mourning, And there's a very good chance my children will have to go through losing their dad. And I'd much rather they do that when they're a little older than having to do that when they're 15. Turns out that being with my children is more important to me than chocolate cake. All of that having been said, now that I'm at target weight, this is important, I also didn't exercise while I was losing the weight. Exercising is bodybuilding. It's a different thing. Wait till you hit the target weight, then you exercise. Then it's easy, then it really does good. But while you're losing weight, make it winter. Sleep a little more. Get sluggish. Let your body just eat the fat that you've stored up just the way you should. Hibernate a little bit. Let it eat the fat. Be a little bit like a bear. Now I eat no animal products, no refined grains, extremely low salt, sugar, and fat. Another way to say that same thing is 2 words: whole plants. That's all. That being said, every couple of weeks, at least 2 weeks go by, but every couple of weeks, I just eat without thinking. I eat, my son says, come on, Dad, eat like a man. I'll have a pizza with him. I'll have a hot fudge sundae with my daughter. If there's a special occasion, I haven't gone off program in 2 weeks, I'll eat whatever. When I'm in New York, if I haven't had anything in 2 weeks, I'll have a slice of really great pizza or maybe a little bit of corned beef on rye. But that is an occasional, rare, and appropriate meal. That's a special thing. It's not a cheat.
just want to comment on what he said about he didn't exercise at all. Look, I'm a personal trainer, and I do recommend that you exercise when losing fat, but some people out there think that it's 50-50. It's 50% exercise and 50% diet when it comes to weight loss. It isn't. It's, being generous, probably 85-15. 85 diet, 15 exercise, maybe 90-10. You're never, if you don't change the way you eat, forget about it. Forget about it. It'll never happen. You will never reach your goal weight or your goal body fat percentage by exercising. It cannot be done. And a few clients over the years just haven't exercised at all. Just like thing, I'll put them on a meal plan and they'll get as lean as they want. It will take slightly longer, but just slightly. What I do recommend training for is really, yeah, it'll burn some calories, but it's more about building the muscle underneath. So specifically, I usually recommend, please lift, weight train, resistance training, because you want to, by the time you get lean, you want to have this muscle to show off underneath it. You know, you don't want to just be very thin looking and no shape, whether you're a man or a woman. It just, you look a little bit better with some muscle mass. So, but the vast majority of your success will come from changing the foods you eat. Like he said, almost no fat in his diet. I'm not zero. You can't eat zero fat anyway, because even the potatoes and rice and broccoli and these things that are virtually no fat, they're still fat. You will get dietary fat in there.
I don't cheat because it's part of my plan. The weird thing is, though, after the microbiome changes and after the taste is reset, I do not crave donuts. I do not crave pizza. I do not crave ice cream or hamburgers. They taste okay when I have them. Oh, that's really not true. Chicken disgusts me now. I used to love chicken. Fried chicken, chicken and waffle.
Okay, that's enough. I love chicken. Chicken breast. A big mistake people who, some people who go on low fat make is you're supposed to eat chicken breast. It has to be breast, thighs and drumsticks. All these other parts of the chicken are far higher in fat. It has to be chicken breast. But yeah, what he said there about he doesn't cheat, it doesn't feel like a cheat. It's because the other foods that you're eating now are so tasty, and you don't feel like you don't feel like this real need to go to eat other things because you enjoy your food. You know, whereas if you're on a low carb diet, if you've ever done that thing, if you've ever been keto or something and you smell bread, it sends you crazy. You just want to eat bread and bread. But we eat bread. And we eat, I don't know, everything. All the starches, wraps and sandwiches and all this crazy variety of sauces, which are all virtually zero fat. So you're eating all this variety of food, excuse me, and you just don't feel those same cravings for other things. So this is sustainable, and you can live this for the rest of your life. It's a normal diet, and then, like he says, well, every couple of weeks or once a month, eat whatever the hell you want. I have an off season. I'll explain all this in my upcoming free book. 14 minutes, my God. I didn't know this was going to take so long. I have an off season every year where I eat a lot of stuff that I don't normally eat, and I purposefully let myself gain some fat and then strip it back off because it comes off so easily. But this has went on long enough. I think I'll go. Like and subscribe. I always forget. I'm supposed to say this at the beginning. Like, subscribe if you enjoy these videos. The free book, Eat Lean, Get Lean, will be out within weeks. I can't wait to get it out. Thanks very much. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.